I want to show Mr. Gordon how much you've just taught me.
No, never mind.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very sweet of you.
Please.
I'm very anxious for Mr. Gordon to see this because I think it's the most interesting experiment. Now, how did you say that last step went? Oh, yes. Shall we try it right through? Won't you sit down, Mr. Gordon?
This next film is the oldest so far. Swing Time was released in 1936 and starred the incomparable dancing duo of the suave Fred Astaire and the beautiful Ginger Rogers. I did not grow up watching the film, but I saw it probably about 5 years ago for the first time, as I was working my way through watching the American Film Institute's Top 100 American Films of All Time, and this was on that list. That is, it was on the 10th anniversary edition. I have no problem watching older movies, as I grew up with a lot of older television shows and films, and I expected this to be your everyday, run-of-the-mill tap dancing musical. It is certainly a tap dancing musical, but a darn good one, and so much more than that. It certainly earned its spot on the AFI list. Aside from this achievement, however, Swing Time usually does not get talked about as much as a film like Top Hat, released a year earlier in 1935, also starring Fred and Ginger, but a Best Picture nominee. While there is certainly much to enjoy in Top Hat, with great songs as always, it doesn't quite live up to the likability of Swing Time for me. Swing Time feels much more iconic, with the romantic scenes in the snow to the purely magical The Way You Look Tonight that plays as Fred and Ginger dance in the huge dining ballroom with stairs leading up to the star-covered walls and ceiling. My favorite scene in the movie, however, is the one at the beginning of this video. I included this scene in its entirety because the whole thing is such a delight to watch. The scene actually occurs fairly early on in the film, after Fred Astaire, as Lucky Garnett, pretends to not know how to dance to earn the affections of the instructor Penny Carroll, portrayed by Ginger Rogers. After he nearly costs Penny her job with her boss, delightful character actor Eric Blore, Lucky saves the day, revealing he does indeed know how to dance, and Penny's smiling face when he starts his tap dancing skills is priceless. Just watching this scene alone makes you realize what jaw-dropping talent these two had together. I could watch them dance for hours. Director George Stevens made a movie that has such a heartwarming love story, lots of laughs, and enough catchy music and breathtaking choreography that even the most negative person in the world could crack a smile. Those new to film, or those who have only known films in the years they have been alive, who have never gone back to the classic older films, you're missing out. So many incredible films don't get their due. Their renewal into this world because they're old, they're in black and white, so therefore they must be boring. Au contraire, anyone can enjoy Swing Time, and I am so happy I saw it. It didn't take long to appear in this list, because it is one of those films that takes me to a time that I will never get to experience, when things were simpler and when movies were made in a different way. I know it's a cliche, but they certainly don't make films the way they used to. While it is true that I will never get to experience living in the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and onwards for that matter, or what it was like to experience watching movies in those decades, I can at least watch films like this when, for an hour and 43 minutes, or at least even just a moment, I can get the feeling of what it must have been like. And I love that feeling. The film makes me yearn for that feeling all the time. Swing Time isn't complicated. It's a simple song and dance musical comedy love story with a simple plot. But sometimes that's all you need, and if you do it right, you can become a classic that I argue Swing Time has become. While this wasn't the first or the last Fred and Ginger outing to hit the movie screens, it is certainly my favorite, and a cinematic gem if there ever was one. The film is timeless. Its age cannot possibly keep it from being in the list of my 100 favorite movies.
Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, start all over again.